Tonight, I kill an orc taking a piss. Gollum talks to himself, and I witness an orc getting bullied. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I will be getting the trophy for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. There is 52 trophies required for the platinum. I started off by beating the main story, while also getting as many collectible and side quest trophies as possible finished. Once that was done, I then just had to do whatever cleanup was left, which didn't take too long. As always, if you enjoy the video, leave a like, comment what game you want to see next, and subscribe. So we begin our journey as any Lord of the Rings game should, with Galadriel giving a speech. But luckily for us, it's the Galadriel from the movies, not the Rings of Power show. Yes, not even 1 minute into the game and I'm shitting on the Rings of Power. But Galadriel is explaining that Sauron has returned, and his first task is to rid Mordor of Gondor's defences, so he sends his orcs to attack the Black Gate. We then wake up from what I assume was a wee nap. Oh wait, never mind this, guys. Entire family has been killed. So turns out this is Talion, a ranger, who protects the Black Gate, and he just happens to be training his son. I then spend the tutorial just beating my son up and down the Black Gate. That is until I flashed a dueling an orc, and well, making quick work of him. Good to see me kicking my son's ass has helped him also be able to kill these orcs. So we use everything we have learnt so far and just tag team these orcs. Honestly, the combat in this game is like old school Assassin's Creed, you know, before it went to shit. So I then tell my son to go and find his mother, because you know the place is crawling with orcs and we need to get the fuck out of here. Another flashback shows my wife just strolling around the Black Gate, and the stealth tutorial is literally sneaking up and giving your wife flowers, 10 out of 10 for creativity. So turns out Talion and his wife are looking to flee the Black Gate. Pretty sure he was sent here unwillingly. But back in the present, we met up with our wife Ioreth, and we have to take out these orcs, so I sneak up behind them all, but Talion is all out of flowers, so the only thing he gives these orcs is steel. But this mountain of a man finds our wife, so I drop my sword to try keep her alive. It's here where another mountain of a man just brutally batters me. So, on top of the Black Gate, we are held captive by the hammer, the tower, and the Black Hand of Sauron. The Black Hand then kills my son.
Look how they massacred my boy.
And the follows this up by killing my wife, and then eventually, to complete his hat trick, he kills me in a blood sacrifice. But as I wake up, I have this undead elf lord tell me that I'm banished from death, so I'm basically a Nazgul. Well, not yet anyway. He then says we are cursed and killing the Black Hand will break it, so I then hit this anvil. And if you're a nerd, this was a massive hint to who this was when this game first came out, but I then just fucking send it out of this massive tower. And okay, being a wraith is pretty cool, so I now have a built-in bow. This is cool as fuck. I then just start picking off orcs, left and right. And the more this video carries on, you will see. I'm a big fan of the bow. But after wiping out all these orcs, I'm jumped by one straggler. And it's here where we see our wraith abilities allow us to mind fuck people and allows us to control people. But this unlucky orc then starts telling us about the Black Hand and how a slave he once had fought him. So he then tells us about an orc slaver who owns the slave now. It's here where we get our first look at the Nemesis system, which basically makes every game unique. All the orcs are random, and they develop personalities based on your gameplay. After completing this mission, we get the first trophy of the video. I then follow this up with 2 more trophies, the first for completing a survival challenge, and the second for unlocking 2 rune slots for the bow. So I then begin to look for this slaver, and it's here where we see a very unfortunate man gets caught by the orcs. But here it allows me to slip inside the camp unnoticed. But using wraith vision, I can pick out the orc I'm after. So, being undead is kind of helping us right now. So I then infiltrate the camp and kill several orcs with my knife and a few with my bow before I drop down and give the slaver a surprise. But not to anyone's surprise, I managed to make very light work of the slaver. 1 orc captain down, about another 2 million to go. It's here where another man reveals himself, and turns out Talion and him are old friends, kind of.
So you didn't die 10 years ago.
So this is Hergun, and he deserted the rangers of the Black Gate, but turns out he now leads all the outcasts who are stuck in Mordor. After this conversation, it's here where we spot everyone's favourite little guy, Gollum. And no, not the one from that shitty game, Gollum. Side note, this game came out in 2014, And the Gollum in this looks 100x better than the one in the Gollum game. Anyway, rant aside, we head out to follow Gollum's tracks and see what he knows. Obviously, on the way to finding Gollum, I wipe out a few orcs abusing a slave. You're welcome, friend. But eventually, I find Gollum's little ass running into a cave, so I follow him, and it's here where we find one of the wraith's old possessions. This instantly makes us have a stroke. It's here, where we get a vision of the wraith's past, where we see his family also got killed, so we have that in common. The vision then ends, and we are attacked by a Caragor, which does not end well at all for the beast. I then get a trophy here for discovering the wraith's past. Once outside the cave, I am attacked by more orcs. And after killing them all, I find Gollum. Well, when I say I find him, I meant Talion chokes the life out of him. But once the wraith appears, Gollum just starts fangirling over him and calls him the Bright Lord. So this guy must be pretty important. So turns out that Gollum knows who this is and will lead him to more of his possessions so he can regain his memory. I then get 2 trophies in a row here. The first for completing my first dagger upgrade mission, and the second for unlocking 3 rune slots for my sword. It's here where I meet a certain orc called Ratbag, and he is genuinely one of the best characters in this game. Him and Talion have a love-hate relationship. But it's 90% hate, to be honest. So he says that if we help him become a Warchief, he will help us locate the Black Hand, and it's a good deal for us both. So I brand him, and it's here where I get more information on an orc captain named Goroth. So I then follow my new best friend in an effort to find and kill Goroth. But we are soon attacked by a band of orcs who hate Ratbag. And I mean, with a name like that, can you blame them? So I start to wipe these orcs out, while Ratbag just begs them to attack me instead, thanks pal. After killing them all, he then tells me to infiltrate the fort ahead and see if I can find our target. So after taking out the first guard I find, I then climb up and kill another guard. But after this, I overhear 2 guards say that Goroth is not here. So after tracking him down, I release a Caragor because he's shit scared of them. I then drop down like something out of a horror movie and make light work of him. So we get another look at the Nemesis system, which shows Ratbag get promoted since he beat him in a duel. So Ratbag then instantly tries to throw his weight around, but it's not until he shows a trophy of his kill that the orcs take him seriously. I then get another 2 trophies in a row, the first for completing my first sword upgrade mission, and the second for completing my first bow upgrade mission. I then finally decide to head to Hurgon's camp and help him and his outcasts free some of his people.
We obtained some valuable information from this one before he lost his head.
So just like old times, these 2 rangers head out to kill some orcs. After a short walk, we finally arrive at the orc camp to poison their grog. So I begin by taking out both of the archers who are watching the entrance to the camp, and this allows me access without being spotted. I then spend the next few minutes sneaking around the entire camp, poisoning all of their grog barrels, which is orc alcohol for anyone wondering. This obviously leads to all the orcs in the camp dying to the poison, so that's a win for the good guys. It's here where Hurgon is reunited with his wife, while Talion watches. Yeah, I bet he's fucking devastated right now. I then went and got another 2 trophies, the first for completing my first Outcast rescue mission, and the second for collecting 25% of all artifacts. We then find Gollum being a dirty wee scavenger, poking his way through the dirt trying to find the One Ring, but it's here where the Wraith gets Gollum to bring us to another of his possessions. So I then start to follow Gollum around Mordor. And obviously every orc and their dad are out right now wandering around, so we have to be careful. But eventually, after some more walking, we find another heirloom. We then see that the Wraith was quite the smith. He must have been making iron daggers to level up his smithing skill. We then get a quick peek of his family, and clearly this elf is pretty important. But then Sauron rocks up to this elf's home and presents him a gift. Yes, this is Sauron, aka Anatar, Lord of Gifts. It's one of Sauron's disguises. You know, he actually looks different to his normal form. Not like in a certain show where he just put a wig on. But we then wake up to find Gollum is searching us, definitely thinks we have the ring the twat. I'll beat you, but it won't be at a game of riddles, you wee thief. But of course all this noise happens to attract ghouls. I do my best to kill as many as I can with explosive barrels, but I also can slam the ground to kill several using the wraith's abilities. So I spend the next few minutes just slaying wave after wave of ghouls, but after one well-placed arrow, I finally kill them all. I then get another trophy for unlocking 3 rune slots for the dagger. Jumping back to Ratbag, seems that bodyguard he planned on killing has captured him, and plans on killing him quickly.
Help me! Help me!
But it just so happens that we appear at this exact moment. I then decide to clear the area of archers before I attack. So after a quick stealth kill, I then take out the bow and get another 2 free kills. After this, I decide to make myself known.
Hello there.
But he is immune to sneak attacks, which ruins my plan. This leads to me having to fight off several orcs at once, while Ratbag does indeed hide and do nothing as usual. But eventually, after a long fight, I'm able to get him weak enough where I can grab him and find out information about the Warchief. Wow, these 2 orcs look identical. I'm sure that won't be a problem. As you can see, I then headed over to free our favourite orc in all of Mordor, and it's here where he tells me he will become the Warchief's bodyguard and then betray him to help us. This allows us another look at the Nemesis system, and we get to see Ratbag rising through the ranks. I wonder how well it's going for him. Well, as we can all see, it's not going very well for Ratbag. It's pretty funny watching him get picked on, but I stopped laughing long enough to save him from these 2 orcs. I suppose I should let him down now. Ratbag then tells us that the orc we just killed together has a twin brother who just so happens to be the Warchief. He honestly can't do anything right, so Mog the Warchief appears, and it's here where our battle begins, by me instantly taking out the bow as always, and taking out as many of his guards as I can. After finally killing a few guards, I see her opening to kill Mog. And well, you can see what happens. So this now means that Ratbag has scammed his way to being Warchief. He is now a level 100 Mafia boss, so he won't allow any orcs to attack us, and will basically do whatever he is told. So it works well for us both. We see this again in the Nemesis system screen, and a Warchief, who is power level 6, tells you a lot about Ratbag.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
This leads to us getting another trophy for making Ratbag a Warchief. I follow this up with another trophy for completing 4 hunting challenges. I'm at the part of the game where you must kill all remaining Warchiefs to progress the story. So that is what will be happening next. Yeah, this guy just got completely destroyed. This leads to another 2 trophies. The first, for using the detonate ability to burn 50 orcs, and the second one, for using the bait to attract 5 Caragors. I was then able to find and kill another of the Warchiefs, and this got me another trophy for using a Warchief's Sphere to kill them. Then we got another trophy for collecting 50% of it Hildan collectibles. Finally, I managed to track down and kill the last remaining Warchief in the area, leaving only Ratbag as the sole Warchief. After this, I then met up with Hergun, and with no Warchiefs to stop us, we planned on destroying a massive monument to Sauron. This would force the Black Hand to appear and allow us to kill him. So the duo head out again, and we are planning on stealing a grog cart to use as the explosives. So I start to stealth kill the orcs guarding this camp, until I finally just ignite a fire and burn a few of them. This then leaves us with the sole objective of attacking the camp where the monument is, and clearing it out, which I begin doing alone, while Hergun and his men guard the cart behind me. So I obviously just destroy these orcs with the bow, and then finally meet back with the other men and help them clear out any remaining orcs. Me and the lads keep pushing the cart up to the monument, but more orcs have arrived and begin flooding our position. So as always, I use the trusty bow to pick off any archers who could kill and slow down the men, while they in turn push the guard and keep the orcs off me. This happens a few more times until I alone have to push the cart and also deal with all the archers as well. So cheers, lads. But finally, I'm able to get the cart close enough to the monument, and well, let's enjoy what happens here. Me and my buddy then have a quick conversation, and these guys honestly believe they can fight against Sauron's forces, which is hilarious. This gets me a trophy for destroying the monument to Sauron. I then find myself in the middle of nowhere, looking for another relic of the wraith's past. This leads me to a cave where a massive fuck-off troll called a Graug appears.
I want to go home. I don't want to... I want to go home!
But instead of fighting, I use some bait and manage to sprint inside before he notices me. Deeper into the cave, I am searching for tracks to see if they lead to the relic, and eventually I am able to find it. And here we go again, another flashback. Here we see that Sauron and the wraith were quite close, and they made some sort of deal together to craft something. So as we can see, this wraith is the one who made the 9 rings for men, the 7 for the dwarves, and the 3 for the elves. And it's here where Sauron reveals his name is Celebrimbor. Unlike the bitch version in Rings of Power, this version is a lot cooler. He made the Rings of Power, but also openly opposed and lead the fight against Sauron. But turns out, the Graug doesn't care for history and plans to eat us, so I use my new ability to zip the fuck out of here. It's here where we get another trophy for witnessing the creation of the Rings of Power. Eventually, after a lot of running and ducking and diving, I am finally near the exit, but the Graug is right up my arse, thank goodness those rocks were there to stop him, or he'd be dead. It's here where our old friend Gollum turns up, wondering if Celebrimbor made the 1 ring, and old Celebrimbor tells him to fuck off.
Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
After all this, I return to the Outcast camp and discover that the hammer has returned and is searching for me. So I tell Hargon and his men to leave Mordor. So this is the hammer. In case anyone forget, you know, the guy who beat the shit out of us at the start of the game. Well, he isn't too happy about Sauron's monument being destroyed. It's right about here where Ratbag probably regrets being in charge.
They all perished in battle, my lord. All except me. Warchief Ratbag.
Fortunately, you are still alive.
Oh shit, not my boy Ratbag.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
I then finally appear, and he slags off my dead family. That's a low blow, mate. And I've got no reply, so I'll just kill you instead. So, our duel then begins with him throwing a ton of orcs at me for fuck's sake. So I do my best to get some distance between us and kill any orcs I can. But after dodging his attack perfectly, I decide to let him hold onto my sword for a second. It's exactly here where I activate a special ability on my sword, and I just spam the same attack over and over again. Finally, this allows me an opening to kill him. It's here where Celebrimbor shows that he is a bit of a twat at times, and says we should have questioned him, no fuck that. But we get interrupted by some strange woman who says her mother sent her to find us. I mean, sounds vague as fuck, but I'm in. I then get a trophy for killing the hammer. We then met up with this woman again, who tells us her name is Lithariel. Listen, love, Talion's wife just died, so this is the last thing he needs. But we then follow her, and this leads us to a whole new land called Nirn, which is south of Mordor, and we can see that it's not just a wasteland like Mordor, which is fun. She then leads us to her mother, Queen Marwen, and fuck, this looks familiar. I don't know from where, though, so she knows all about Celebrimbor, and also that she can see visions of the future. So she sends us out to look for a caravan that hasn't arrived yet. But we arrive at the area and find that ghouls have killed everyone here, so that's that plan fucked. So I head off in search of the artifact which the caravan had. This leads me down a dark and disgusting looking cave.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But once deeper inside, we find Celebrimbor's old hammer. This gives us yet another vision of when Sauron made the 1 ring in Mount Doom, and both Celebrimbor and Galadriel sense this happening. But once my nap is over, I awaken to find a massive fucking ghoul in my way.
You one ugly motherfucker.
So I decide to plant a few arrows in its face. And after a very brief fight, I hit him a few more times before I finish the job. But I'm being overrun by ghouls, so I have to hit the road. So I start running like fuck while killing as many ghouls as I can. But eventually at the exit, I am surrounded. And it's here where a random barrel on fire appears out of nowhere. So I run for the exit and get launched out the cave. I then wake up to find a very short and loud dwarf laughing about my near-death experience. It's here where we agree to pay him back by becoming his new hunting partner. I then get another trophy for activating all the towers. We then meet up with our dwarven friend Torvin again, and he says he will take us Caragor hunting, as we need to know this, is we plan on killing a Graug. He then follows this up by taking the piss out of Talion.
Better sharpen the swords, eh? And make sure our boots are nice and shiny.
So we then head out and follow him to the place where he hunts Caragors, and finally we manage to find one alone. So it's here where I make myself known.
What now? Hop on and take it for a ride!
And after knocking it on its arse, I'm able to jump on board and tame it. Torvin then tames one for himself, and we head out. We then encounter a lot of orcs and have a competition on who can kill more. I mean, we all know who's winning this. Come on. So I then ignite the fire and get myself several more kills, increasing my lead.
Nicholas! True already!
I'm on 17!
I have no pointy yet outscoring me!
But finally, we encounter a massive orc patrol, and we just go to town on them and massacre this entire enemy patrol. But one of them manages to flee, so I chase him down while Torvin stays behind, and this little orc didn't stand a chance. Once I head back to find Torvin, it seems he has run into some trouble, so I decide to help him out. After this, he lets me know that we will now be hunting Grogzor, for fuck's sake. Should have let you die. Meeting Torvin at the camp, we have another brief conversation. It's basically always Torvin cracking jokes, and Talion being too depressed to care. But here Torvin tells us he lost his last hunting partner, and it was the Graug which killed him. So our duo head out, and it doesn't take too long to find the Graug, considering the size of the fucker. So I kick this off by doing exactly what I'm told, and that's sneak up behind him and stab him in the heel. This will draw Caragors, which I then mount and tame, and using the speed of them, I lure the Grog back to Torvin. This all goes well, until the Grog just plain refuses to die after Torvin works his magic. So I say fuck it and decide to mount and then tame the Grog. Good timing, as well as orcs have arrived, so using the Grog and with Torvin's help we make quick work off all the orcs, and then I kill the Grog. Turns out, however, this isn't the main Grog, and was basically a warm-up test. So that's fun. Once again, me and Torvin mount some Caragors, which we plan on using to kill the Grog with. But after a short bit of travelling, we arrive at the cave where the Grog lives. So we decide to stay and ambush the Grog. It's here where Torvin finds his brother's old axe, so obviously his hunting partner which died was his brother. And then Talion finds another relic of Celebrimbor's. This vision shows us that using the power of the One Ring, Sauron controlled Celebrimbor and made him work to perfect the One Ring and make it even stronger than before. But I then wake up to find the Graug is here, and Torvin fancies himself in this 1 versus 1. And after getting a good slash in, he is knocked out.
What are you waiting for? Direct order!
This leaves me to then finish the Grog on my own. So I then just dodge his charge and shoot him in the head several times while climbing up and attacking his face. And after repeating this process several times over, I am finally able to climb up and try finish him. But I fuck it up. And it's up to Torvin to save the day.
They don't know me, son! Get it! 18! They don't know me, son!
So after he drags the Grog to the ground using the chain, I run over and kill it with a single thrust to the throat. So it's here where we part ways with our dwarven friend. It's here I get a trophy for killing the Great White Grog, and another trophy for making 20 orcs flee by using Mordor flies. I then head back to the Queen, and that her men have another relic of Celebrimbor's past, but they have been captured by orcs. So I leave and start rushing my way to where they are being held. Once there, we can see that they are about to be executed, and also that we are heavily outnumbered. It's here where we finally unlock the ability to claim orcs and turn them to our side. So I begin this by sneaking around the camp and branding all the archers in the camp. Once all of them are branded, I give the order to fire. So with the help of the orcs and me firing my bow, we are able to kill all of the orcs before they can flee or retaliate, and I kill the last one with a decapitation. So the Queen's men are then freed, and they give me Celebrimbor's relic, and it's here where we see in a flashback that my boy Celebrimbor was like Robin fucking Hood. Seriously, what is that archery? And he follows it up with some insane sword skill. This guy's fucking class. Even when Sauron shows up with the One Ring, he still doesn't run away. Celebrimbor, sir. You have my respect. I then went and got another trophy for dropping 60 feet or more and killing an orc. I return back to the Queen again. And yeah, she is tripping balls again. But she then tells me to start claiming Warchiefs to command. So I leave and do just that. The first orc, who I will make a Warchief, is this lovely gentleman known as Grublick the Flogger. He wouldn't be my first choice, but beggars can't be choosers. So I introduce myself to him and his group, and after a very easy fight, I then brand him as my own captain, and then command him to become a bodyguard for a Warchief, and then kill him. But to do this, I need to help Grublick actually become the bodyguard, and I do this by just killing everyone who has a fucking problem with the guy. Wish Talion could do that for me. Anyway, after sniping 3 different sets of enemies with the bow, we are able to see that Grublick has grown in power and is now a bodyguard. Step 3 of our master plan is to ambush the Warchief and use Grublick to surprise attack him. So Tars the Knife arrives, and he is the Warchief, but not for long, as I immediately strike down and make myself known to him. So here, Grublick joins me in attacking him while I kill off his other bodyguard, and once he is dead, I make quick work of Tars. This shows up in the Nemesis system, as Grublick succeeding in his betrayal, and he becomes the new Warchief after. I then head back to the Queen, and oh shit, this old lady is sucking the soul out of me. Oh wait, I mean, she's trying to claim Celebrimbor, but luckily her daughter is on hand and breaks the staff controlling her. It's here, where she goes through a transformation, and I've watched The Lord of the Rings enough to know who's behind this. So Saruman just goes around turning people into older, weaker versions of themselves. What a twat. We then get a trophy for freeing the Queen. I then get a trophy for freeing 5 Caragors from cages. I then meet up with Lithariel and her men, and they are trying to steal medicine for the Queen to recover, so I agree to clear the camp for them. So like a prime Altair, I begin sneaking inside and killing any orcs in my path. Once inside, I start to take out all the archers, as I can't be fucked getting shot if I'm spotted. But after killing the main captain, the camp is cleared, and we are all able to find some medicine, but it's not enough. We then see that the tower has captured Lithariel, and Ye Torture seems to be the least of her problems, that is one messed up looking fucker. The orcs aren't paying attention though, and this allows me to slip inside and brand multiple of them. So I go through the camp branding a few orcs, and killing some others to make our escape easier. But I finally find her, and just destroy these orcs with arrow after arrow. So her leg is fucked up, and this place is swarming with orcs, so it's a good thing I turned some of them to help me out. Me and the lads begin to fight our way out of the fort, and after each wave is killed, I manage to drag her slow ass another 25 feet before another group attack, so I decide to pop this one orc's head like a balloon. We are finally able to get outside, and it's here where Lithariel tries to drop some riz, but Talion is having none of it. But her men show up, and are able to escort her back to camp. Get ready, because I got a lot of trophies here. I got the first one for saving Lithariel's life. The second one for collecting 100% of all Ithilden. The third one for collecting all the artifacts in the game. Another trophy was got for completing all sword upgrade missions. The next one was for beating all survival challenges. I got another one for completing a vendetta mission. Another trophy was got for getting one Warchief to attack another one. The next trophy was got for beating all hunting challenges.
1 eternity later.
And finally, I got another trophy for branding all 5 Warchiefs. I had to brand 5 Warchiefs as you need them for the last mission. So let's meet the team, shall we? First up, we have this handsome young man, Golmugly Face.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way.
Second up, we have our first ever Warchief, Grublick. He needs no introduction. Third up, we have Ishmoz the Rugged. He's a big lump of a lad. Fourth, we have this little creepushkol. And last and definitely least, we have Hawk.
Oi, don't say that. That's not true.
I then got 2 more trophies, the first for issuing a death threat and carrying it out, and the second one for helping a captain complete a recruitment mission, then killing him. But enough fucking trophies for a minute, we have a job to do. So me and my merry band of savages are going to board a boat and be brought to the fortress of the tower and kill him once and for all. On the boat, I'm surprised they haven't started killing each other. Once outside his fort, we see a small army waiting for us, but Talion gives a quick speech before begin.
Drown the air with Uruk cries, and the earth with Uruk blood!
So it begins.
I once again take out the bow and start killing as many as I can before engaging the main force. It's here where I activate the ability on the sword and just completely destroy this orc with no problem whatsoever. I then head inside the fort, and it seems the tower is nowhere to be seen.
Bow to me.
Oh, that's some freaky fucking magic. So the tower then spills the beans and says that Celebrimbor chose me and could have let me die. So yeah, not the first time I've thought Celebrimbor has been a bit shady. But fuck all that noise. Me and you are having a 1 versus 1. This boss fight is pretty bad. I can't lie, I just sneak around and kill him several times over. But because he's magic as fuck, it's not actually him. Talion then sees a vision of his wife. And I mean this defiantly, isn't a trap at all. To no one's shock, it was a trap. But I overpower the tower and just butcher him like a dog. Trophy for killing the tower. So me and Celebrimbor have our 50th argument this week, and it's small moments like this where you notice he isn't a good man at all, unlike Talion, who is 100% good. So I then head back to find the queen, but her hideout has been burnt down, and sadly everyone has been killed. It's here where Gollum appears for the last time, and gives me one more artifact of Celebrimbor's. We then see that once Sauron mind-controlled him, he was able to break free and steal the ring, which I mean, he is already overpowered. Never mind with the 1 ring. We then wake up once again to see Gollum is trying to kill me. I mean, you're welcome to try. I will just come back in 5 minutes. But okay. I then rush back to the Black Gate, and it's here where my 5 Warchiefs have assembled, as well as 5 of Sauron's.
I thought I'd die fighting side by side with an elf.
What about side by side with a friend?
I could do that.
As always, I use the bow to thin their numbers and do some damage, but very soon I'm able to kill the first Warchief. This is quickly followed by destroying the second one in a duel. My orcs take care of the 3rd and 4th Warchiefs, while I alone am able to kill the last one. So I then head to the top of the Black Gate where this all started. And once here, the Black Hand of Sauron shows me the last vision of Celebrimbor's. It's here where we see he assembled his own orc army and marched on Mordor to destroy Sauron. And I mean, look at this guy. He's mowing down orcs with ease. He then attacks Sauron and fuck me, he is battering him. But just as he was about to kill Sauron, the ring slipped from his hand and onto Sauron's, and well, he stood no chance then. So the Black Hand then just kills himself. Saves me doing it, but he does this to bind Celebrimbor to him. This transforms him into Sauron. Well, fuck that.
No. Wait.
So I'm basically just trying to survive at this point, ducking and dodging, but just when I'm about to die, Celebrimbor is able to hold him back, and this allows me a free strike on Sauron. And this allows me to cut him down and go for a finishing blow. After Sauron is defeated, Celebrimbor says that we should just die and get the fuck out of Mordor. But once again, Talion says no to that, and says that we should try and fight him for as long as possible, and also that it's time to craft a new Ring of Power. Wow, really? Setting up that sequel. We then get a trophy for killing the Black Hand. Another trophy is got for branding a captain while in combat. We earned the trophy Stinking Rebels, for having 5 bodyguards betray a warchief. Another trophy was gotten by killing the warchief's bodyguards first, then killing him. We then got the trophy rise and fall for getting a orc to captain, then killing him. I then had to kill all 5 of my warchiefs to get the trophy power vacuum. The next 2 trophies were got for firstly completing all sword upgrade missions, and the second one for doing the same with the bow. I finally completed all Outcast missions, and this got me another trophy. I got a trophy for acquiring a level 25 rune. We got yet another trophy for executing a berserker on fire. Poisoning a captain while at a feast got us the trophy Black Celebration. And finally, for our last main trophy, I had to free 30 outcasts in 180 seconds while riding a Caragor. This then led to me getting the Platinum Trophy Master of Mordor. So everyone that was the Shadow of Mordor Platinum. Another brilliant game with one of the most unique game mechanics, the Nemesis system, especially for 2014. My next video will be me playing the sequel. I hope you all enjoyed the video, guys. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.